my friends, it's time to release your stress and pain along with me, yeah. It's not about perfection, it's about the connection. Now put it on your canvas and let it be. We're having an art party. Why don't you come with me? Straight from the heart.
Hey everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and welcome to our weekend landscape painting. I'm going to explain to you step by step how you can follow along and paint this with me at home on your own 16 by 20 canvas. This is a Cosmos flower field painting. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hello.
He helps me bring these classes to you and has for the last 7 years by making sure the cameras are pointing to what I'm talking about, by being my champion and my encourager and my cheerleader, and making sure your questions can be asked of me live on the show so he can be watching the chat. If you're here for the live chat, you want to put your questions in all caps. I promise we won't think that you are yelling at us if I don't answer your question. Put it in the comments after the show. I always check those, and I'm happy to answer that there. I'm so excited for everyone who decided to come today. You're going to want to stay to the end of the show because this weekend, today and tomorrow, is the last 2-hoot or 3-hoot painting until December.
Ooh.
Ominous, isn't it?
It's interesting.
Ooh, so you definitely want to come to the end of the video and see why. Other than that, we're going to be breaking this down into steps. Those steps will be just like a tech channel. Have you guys ever been to a tech channel where they timestamp and chapter that out? Just like the tech channels. We're going to timestamp and chapter that out. That'll be all in the description so you can find your little place again. But not like the tech channels. We write up mini books, which are handwritten out instructionals that you can download and use for free from the website. Those come out about 10 to 7 days later. So we're in there. And they will match what happened in the video exactly, including step instruction, images, and everything you really need. If you're wanting to kind of level up your landscape, I highly recommend that resource. We have a lot of them already out. If you want to try other landscapes, they really can make the difference if you're kind of on the cusp and wanting to take that next goal. How is everybody today?
Really good. The room's
Are they
filling up all
nervous
up.
about my ominous statement of no more 2 or 3 hoots
it's exciting.
for a month?
For a month, just for a month though. There's stuff that's
I mean,
going to be.
in the world of me, if you think I've been live as often as I have for 7 years, that's a long time. That's like practically missing.
That's true. But there'll be stuff.
There will be stuff. I won't be missing, but the 2 and 3 hoots will be missing for a shorter period of time.
Okay.
Stay to the end. I'll tell you
We can
why.
do that.
We can do that. 16 by 20. You saw the materials list at the beginning. I'm starting out, guys. Here, let's go over the palette, babe.
Okay.
I have started with ultramarine blue, quinacridone magenta, cad yellow, and titanium white to begin. Throw up a step.
Ooh, you ready for the steps?
Let's step it up.
All right.
Step it up, step it up. Okay. I'm going to just take my big number 18. This is a number 18 in the Artigiani line from Raphael. And I'm going to load it with just a little bit of ultramarine blue. And I'm going to kind of sketch out, kind of give myself a little idea of where I want things. So I'm going to come up to my left-hand side. Oh gosh, about a hand down, maybe a little open hand down. And I know it's going to kind of swoop down here. So let's give ourselves a little hill. And this is a sketch, right?
Yep.
So I'm not going to really get it wrong. I'm just sketching my landscape. And then I'm going to come over here to the right-hand side. It's not going to be as high as this quite, but it will be high. And then it's going to begin my little flower field. Now, I have a path, and the path is really kind of cool. Kind of does a really interesting S. All right, so I want to capture that little S, and now I know where that is. That's pretty helpful. I've got some little mountains. So over here, ranges up. Let's bring this little mountain down. And it's got a little friend valleyscape. I'm going to bring that just a light little sketch over from the left to the right. At the medium point of this mountain,
You know,
I'm going to bring this over. And notice I'm sketching super light.
Yeah.
That's important. I'll bring another little peaking mountain here. And he can have a little buddy. There. There we go. Look at that. We have sketched out, laid out, planned a landscape. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Wow. You know what?
You forgot to turn on the steps?
I think that mountains and valleys must be old friends.
Mountains and valleys are the best of friends.
Because they're always hanging out together. I mean, you never see them apart. Well,
yeah.
Rarely. You
Rarely.
can sometimes see a mountain.
New Mexico, you could see a mountain without a valley.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's where they go out in the desert. They're sort of alone. They're like, look, I came here for a reason. That's right. They're just like...
They're a mesa. All right, I don't know what I'm doing here. So, we're going to break this down while John gets the picture stuff ready. What I'm doing is I'm not creating something that is absolute in my world. I'm not trying to make an absolute rigid map, but a general understanding. In landscape painting, being able to sort of capture the placement of large objects, land masses, trees, streams, rocks, is really key. And being able to just sort of relax and be loose with that is really helpful. I love watching John run around. The last one for a month. Well, yeah, actually the last one. We will have steps for what comes up in November, but it won't be this. It'll be something else. What will it be? You don't know yet. All right. So he's getting that. I really like these steps. So what you'll have if you get the mini book, and if my mods will drop a link to the free mini book so people can kind of check out what they are. They're PDFs. You can print them out. You can just use them digitally, and they show you each step, tell you what colors were in that step, tell you what brushes were in that step, tell you what techniques we did in that step with a picture of just that step. Pretty awesome. So take advantage of those. All right. Now I'm going to do this sort of radial sky. The radial sky is a lot of fun to do. I'm going to start it with my bright. I'm going to make sure. Give me another step, babe. Oh, you did. You stepped me?
We're stepping. We're in mid-step.
We're in mid-step.
We're striding forward.
All right. I'm going to take a little of my pink. I'm going to tip a little yellow into it. You want to make sure that any brush you has does not have too much water in it. That's going to be a thing to always control, is the amount of water in your paint.
A thing.
It's a thing. And I'm going to add white.
On Arrakis, you must control your water.
Yes, on Arrakis. So we have to figure out where we want to kind of focus our sunrise. And maybe I'll come here where these two mountains join. And I'm going to begin a fan of radial light beams that are in the pink, white, and yellow space. Notice that these are sort of open.
I do.
Sometimes I like to not have the top of my canvas blocked by what holds it.
So you can paint around the top of the edge.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, you guys can help me make the last decision that I need to make for what's coming up in November.
Yeah.
November. Tell me in the comments whether you like the big canvases at the easel or small canvases at the table.
That's
that we'll never
interesting.
small canvas again because we've got acrylic April and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
I'm just blending titanium white.
I like the 8x8s.
John likes the 8x8s.
They make a beautiful, like...
arrangement on the wall.
Arrangement, yeah. They do well.
But for this... right?
Yeah.
What do you enjoy?
What's your preference?
Might help me. You might influence my decision. I'm just blending all of this together. This paint is wet, and the paint I'm blending into is wet. I'm going to continue to inform that radial awareness. And I want there to be areas of light and dark. tell me in the comments. Let me know. Because you're going to want to do this with me. It's going to change everything for you. In November. If you're sitting here loving to watch these big landscapes, but you're afraid to paint yet, let me know.
We can
help. We're going to fix that for you.
Yeah. Heather likes the 8x8s too.
Huh?
Heather likes 8x8s.
Heather likes the 8x8s?
Yeah, because you can display a lot of them.
There you go.
Ashley loves the 16x20s because they're big and easy and beautiful to see.
Really see the techniques.
Yeah, Linda's like 8x8, but Robin's like big canvas.
Uh-oh. See, that's the thing I'm most stuck on. I'm going to continue to add this little white going out here. You'll notice that all my canvas is covered. I can kind of put this here now.
It's interesting.
It is all covered. Now I'm going to get a little more into my yellow. I haven't really rinsed out my brush.
Krista says, I enjoy the smaller paintings because of my health issues and not being able to stand for a long time. But both Barbara and Paula are like the big ones. Oh, Jean too. Like big ones. Christine is like larger, 20x16. So I think this is really one of those things where it's like a split decision because...
It is. I feel like it is. Notice that I'm spacing these yellow beams out. I'm coming here, I'm looking at it like a fan, and I'm brushing them out. I'm spacing them out.
Yep. So it seems consensus is small is nice to paint and great when you're doing a lot and you want to display a bunch of stuff. But the big ones are great for those statement pieces because you got to be able to make it big to see it pretty.
Oh my goodness. That's hard.
That just brings...
I asked some of my team. I got the same mix of answers.
Would you like to have some cake and eat it?
And eat it too. So I'm rinsing my brush out, and I'm going to come and get a little of my yellow and quite a lot of my pink. Get a little white into it. I want some kind of brighter pink. And this is a very light, I'm being very light, guys, with my pressure. To get this radial just right, you got to kind of think about what you're doing. Bring some of this yellow in from the outside. Painting a radial beam sky. See, I'm kind of feathering that in. This brush is damp, but it's not wet. Here where I've got the edge of my canvas, I'll move my easel to make it convenient for me. Yeah, you gotta let me know.
Paula wants to know, John, does Passamaquoddy pink come from Pete's Dragon? I've been watching, and I'm very curious to know.
Paula must be going back over old lessons when John was learning how to say quinacridone.
Passamaquoddy pink, that's from...
Pete's Dragon.
So it is. It is from Pete's Dragon. But Passamaquoddy pink is given by dragons to chemists to be made. There are no dragons that are harmed in the collection of Passamaquoddy pink. They're voluntarily participating in that pigment transfer. It's a byproduct
like spice from Dune.
That's right. You don't really want to know what part of the dragon that comes from. We don't ask, but Passamaquoddy pink is a pigment from dragons that come from Passamaquoddy. That is true.
Yes. So I'm adding a little bit of white and kind of, really thinking about the way that radial is out. And I'm pretty happy with what we have there. I think we did a nice job. Kind of see how that went. Look at that nice little radial sky.
Ooh. It's radial.
Radial. It's radical radial. Radical radial. Witty? Something witty, something clever, something fun. So what it is I'm working on something I've been working on for a very long time. I think I've been talking about it for 3 years to do it. And I'm finally like, I'm just going to do it. So I've been working kind of day and night, getting it ready. And I'll tell you more at the end. But I'm not clever or witty. I am in teaching mindset, which is pretty good. And I'm going to sip my coffee. Don't put up a step yet. I want to sip my coffee.
You said something clever, something witty, and something...
You're so on my team.
Something else.
You're 2 on my team.
I heard you say all those words.
You're 2 on my team. If you want to watch a time lapse of this, that's just 14 minutes. If you want to look at it real quick, when I painted the study, not the time lapse of what we're doing right here. It's the study that I do to get ready for the show. We have those as time lapses. You can go check that out and kind of get a sense of how we put things together, and also how I change things to make it easier for beginning artists.
Now, it is time to step up.
To step up. We're
There's
going to add
third step.
a little bit of burnt sienna.
Who burnt it?
Everybody burns umbers and siennas. We need to get better cooks of burnt umber and burnt sienna out there. No, I want phthalo green. I'll go over the colors again.
I want caramelized umber.
Caramelized umber. That's probably somebody's color somewhere. Probably Jane Davenport has a color called caramelized umber. Phthalo green, burnt sienna, ultramarine blue, quinacridone magenta, cad yellow, and titanium white.
Yeah, that's it. You just covered some paint.
I'm sure we have a bunch of Jane Davenport painters here. So let me know. Is there a caramelized
you know
color?
What you do have?
What?
You have a bunch of Sherpa painters.
I do too. I have a bunch of Sherpa painters.
Thank you for all this, and they're all super chatting and
You're
emoji
super chatting and starring us and all those things.
Guys.
Thank you for the stars and the super chat and everything.
Thank you.
Big news, big news. All right, so you ready to do the next? Have we stepped?
Yeah, we already stepped.
Okay. We're going to begin the base of our mountain color. We're going to take a little of our burnt umber into, again, this is still our number 18 Artigiani Raphael Hogg Bristol brush.
Bristol brush.
Bristol brush.
It's bristle.
Bristol. And we're going to make a pretty dark color. We might even get a little green into that. Look at that. Let's come up to this front mountain. And you're going to brush down like this.
See, you know that mountain's got the voice because it's the front mountain.
It's got the voice?
Yeah, like a front man in a band.
Oh my gosh.
It's the front mountain.
You're so weird.
It's like, I have the voice. I will sing for everyone.
Okay. On the edge of my brush, I'm going to come here and I'm going to kind of stipple up and down while this is still wet. Kind of create that feeling of distant bushes. But you can still see the tops of them maybe a little bit.
Siobhan, stay to the end and I will answer your question about how to make the easel as part of what Cinnamon is going to explain. So the answer is yes, but I can't fill you in on the details until later because she'll get distracted and yell at me for distracting her.
I won't yell at him.
You won't yell. She'll just we'll end up with like a monologue in the middle of a painting.
There won't be any yelling. I'm going to go ahead and take a little burnt umber and phthalo blue and kind of come along here and just make sure that we've got a downward little stroke to sort of shape the mountain. Now this color here, we're going to make a little bit lighter. Just a little bit for this mountain. Kind of tap some uneven little line here, yeah?
Yeah.
It's pretty far away.
It really is.
And we're going to fill that in a little bit. Again, maybe brush, kind of imply a sweeping down brush stroke as we go. And remember, guys, this is always sort of like a layer one, and we're going to find everything in the second layer. I'm going to add a little more white and a little more blue to everything.
So Irene was asking about the side view of a brushstroke here. We've got that camera. We just switch around based on which side you can see easier in.
Do you need me to step back?
No, you're okay.
Okay.
And sort of that sort of answers, Irene, why sometimes you'll see us move to different sides of the surface with the cameras, and that's, you know, because as an artist you have to sort of move around, and so sometimes our cameras can get the left side, sometimes they got to get the right side. So we try to get both sides of that for you. But please let me know in the comments how, like, if you have some suggestions, because I
see how we have that there is lighter, darker coming forward. All right, now I'm gonna rinse, 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 rinse. Here, I'm gonna take a little of my just green, and I'm gonna come in now, brushing from left to right, kind of sweeping up. There you go. So that's kind of the valley that I'm thinking of. I'm going to come on this side. Let's add a little burnt sienna to it too. Let's get in there, you know? Go a little burnt sienna. I'm going to come along this path and make a little back and forth stroke. We're kind of implying the grass. I'm going to come up 3 fingers, make a little line here. Now this doesn't have to be super tidy, guys. This is just the first coat. And just make sure this is here. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of do this little sweeping stroke.
Sweeping stroke.
It's just going to help us make it feel like landscape a little bit later. A little more green than brown. Now from here, if you kind of think about this coming up about 1 inch from the bottom and you kind of curve there, it helps you understand where the upward part of the flowers are going to be versus the mowed part of the grass. And you notice where I want to have my flowers, I kind of make an upward stroke, and where I want to have my grass, I kind of create this curved flattening stroke. Phthalo blue, phthalo green, burnt sienna are actually all pretty transparent colors. There are more opaque colors that you don't have to do multi-layers with, but they often are more expensive. So we know that the path is going to be kind of wide here. So I can be light where I know the brown is going to be, and I can even scumble back and forth just to get my canvas covered with color. Honestly, I should be on a bigger brush.
Huh.
But sometimes what we have is just a few brushes, right?
Ooh. Darcy would like to know, should the sweeping be totally horizontal? Does it look like you're being totally horizontal there?
Totally horizontal? No, I have a little curve to it. There is a bit of a horizontal feel, but it's not, you know, complete, right?
Yeah.
And we have so much we're building up that's going to be a counterstroke like this, that it really is just about making sure that we have the depth to start. So when we start to put in the 2 little layers of it, we really have what we need. I'm going to go ahead and get some brown. I may put out some more brown and maybe even a little black to help me. What we're doing now is an underpainting. That is kind of like after the sketch, you sort of rough in the general value and color of major objects in your landscape so that they're zoned correctly. Get them in the zones. Maybe take a little black and brown. Now my path is an interesting, being because, it's made by people walking here pretty often. It's going to taper and get much narrower as it goes away from me and vanishes into the vanishing points. So it's really just about starting where I am sure and then taking a walk off into the distance. So like if I were to walk off into the distance here, it would get narrower as it goes away. Even as it curves, right? So these are just little things that you can do right now to sort of set yourself up for success. I'm going to bring a little green, maybe with some brown in it. Starting to think about it this way as well, and you'll notice that I'm kind of brush stroking up, and that's okay. It's the start of something, right?
Yeah. Getting there.
What a lot of people don't know is that quinacridone magenta and Doc's purple quinacridone magenta and phthalo green make purple.
Say that again?
Quinacridone magenta and phthalo green make purple.
Okay. Purple and green make purple? No, wait.
Pink and green make purple.
Pink and green make purple.
These two, this pink and this green, make this purple.
That's a Passamaquoddy magic.
It is some Passamaquoddy magic.
But
it's very helpful in this particular landscape where we're going to be kind of blending from up close greenery. Right? Like, so if I want to come here.
The near shrubbery?
With the near shrubbery, I can easily kind of go from the green to the purple, then to the pure pink.
That is a crazy transition. It's got blue and green and purple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is cool. I don't think I've ever seen that. And I've been watching you. I mean, like, I'm sure I've seen it, but I've not really.
I didn't think until I did those weird colors that make primaries. I don't think I've done all these, but I don't think I thought I was present to stop and tell you guys at home, did you notice that we just made a primary color or an unexpected color with two mixes that you wouldn't think? And so now I'm doing that more.
I'm just now, like, after being here a while, enough to go, wait a minute, something weird just happened. And, like, that was a funky color that you made. How did you do that?
Right?
But
I'm going to come here and just start mixing in my quinacridone.
Wow.
And I'm going to just blend this to here. So if this is the middle of the canvas, that's going to be a little more quinacridone. Go figure, right?
Huh.
And again, wherever you've got to do a little transition, you've got the halfway mix between them, and it really does kind of a good job. You can even get kind of distant flower depths. Weird, but fun. I might lower this pink hill about 1/4 inch, and I'm going to put bushes there, so it's okay.
These fields are cool.
They're going to be super cool. And after this, I got asked to paint, last landscape that we did with snow, I got asked to paint some flowers. And I thought, why not? Overall the fall landscape for a half second, not forever, but a half second. Though, however, I won't be doing the 2 and 3 hoots until December. So it may be that the fall you got is the fall that you get.
Aw, thank you, Rita. She's a 3-month member.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for all you do, because we couldn't be here doing this if you weren't here hanging out with us. Because we would be alone in the internet, shouting into the darkness.
We would be alone in the internets, shouting into the darkness.
We got our own VHF station, and we're broadcasting, darn it.
I'm bringing this little bridge here between these two worlds, just so that later when we come landscape, the depth we're looking for is present for us, right, guys?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you set yourself up for some great depth.
That's crazy depth. I'm gonna have to move a light shade. It's hanging out in the way.
It is?
Yeah, one of my it's kind of in the bottom of the screen here a little bit. Not too bad, but it's enough that it's annoying me.
Is it annoying you?
I didn't move it before the show.
There we go. I think we kind of basically know where stuff is. You guys kind of have a sense that it's about the canvas being covered. At this stage, we're not painting so precious or so pretty that we have to be stressed. We will stress out later when it is appropriate. No, we won't stress out. We're going to stay relaxed the entire time. Woo! All right. So, what can I share with you as an instructor to help you through this? The first thing is to take a deep breath. Tell me. Oh. And realize that you're not under a lot of pressure. If your hill's a little slopier, that's fine, because sometimes hills are. If your hill's a little steeper, that's okay, because sometimes they are. If your path weaves in an unexpected place, that's okay. Paths go a lot of different ways. Things that are, because I'm working through it where it can dry as I go. So now it's just, so what I'm explaining to John is I'm making a strategy in the painting where I work different areas, allowing, like, say, the sky up here to dry while I'm working the landscape down here. It gives me a strategy. I think I'm going to need you to microwave my coffee there.
I will probably do that.
Do we have any questions before we begin?
After I say thank you to Kendra, who's a 6-month member.
Thank you, Kendra, for everyone who stayed signed into our patronage on our website or patronage on YouTube. Either one, thank you so much.
We have had tremendous technical difficulties. We are likely to have more in the coming months as we transition. So thank you guys for your support, patience, and understanding.
Microwave coffee.
We need it now more than ever.
We do need it. I'm unmiking John. He's like, but I'm saying thank you. And I'm like, microwave coffee. Art is happening and it needs to be taught. So take a deep breath with your canvas and recognize that it's okay. It's easy to get into a painting and start to perceive in your mind that something's going wrong. And that kind of creates anxiety, which absolutely harshes your mellow, which was probably the whole reason you started painting in the first place, was to remain mellow and calm and enjoy the process. So remember that this is about the layers. It's not about being perfectly like me. It's about being perfectly like you and just painting along.
Yeah.
So relax that pressure. Relax it and let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. All right. Stepping me.
Stepping.
All right. We're going to make some clouds. And let's get I have a number 20 Artigiani Raphael hog brush, and I'm going to add some white to this. And my cad yellow. And I'm going to come here and using the toe and a slight circular motion, kind of create a little sense of maybe some clouds. Maybe here at the corner, it's a little whiter, and bringing that up here. Isn't that fun? A little bit of these yellows. We like it. It's good. A little bit of a wiggle. Clouds. And if you've really been struggling with these core skills, man, you're going to want to come be with me November. Clouds are irregular shapes. They make strange sky decoration for sure. A little more whitened here. There we go. That seems interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I might get a little bit of yellow into my pink and maybe a lot more white here. Kind of went into my magenta where I had got my phthalo green. So this creates a tip of a cloud that's maybe happening. There's a little lighter there because it's facing in. It's okay. In our reference, there was a very dark form that was actually cloud but looked like a mountain.
Yeah.
That was going to create a lot of visual confusion. And so sometimes in a painting, let's rinse out. Sometimes in a painting, you've really got to embrace the idea that you have to edit some things that you're seeing so that the painting works. Put a little quinacridone magenta. We're going to be real heavy in our quin. This particular one is called fuchsia quinacridone in this line, but it is PR 122. The tube number is 671 and it's Acrylic Tutorial. Let's mix our ultramarine blue this time and our quinacridone to get a lovely purple. You can add some white to it so you can really see it. Blend that into the cloud that's in front of it. You can just see I'm pushing the little toe. I'm working this brush from here to here, from the mid to the tip.
And what is that? The mid part called?
Belly, heel, belly, toe.
Okay. I thought that was it, but I didn't want to be like, say it and be wrong.
Oh wow. It's okay to be wrong.
I don't know.
It is. It's okay to be wrong in life.
I don't know. I don't think I could do it.
It's not okay to know you're wrong and lean into it.
But that's fun sometimes.
I think that's where maybe as a species we could work on our skill sets a little more.
Fine. Act like a grown-up.
I don't want to do that. Don't threaten me with grown-upping, adulting. We're going to continue this little random shape path. Little ultramarine blue, quinacridone magenta.
Now,
Go
do
on
you
the
have
toe more.
any? Where do you suggest brushes in the UK to go look for brushes?
Well, this is actually the Raphael line, guys, is really available to you in the UK, and I would recommend it over the Robert Simmons lines. I do think that the Raphaels are real premier. You should be able to get Princeton's. Jackson's has deals going on all the time, and they ship all over the UK. So if you have Jackson's Art Supply in your area, go into the store. If you don't, you can go online and check it out. But a lot of times these, your brushes are, most of the brushes that are still handmade in the world that aren't made in China and Japan are made, and Sri Lanka. China, Japan, and Sri Lanka makes brushes. But the only other place that you get them made is in Europe. And some of the best are, and the ones in Europe have also as old and pedigreed of brush making families as China and Japan and Sri Lanka.
Penma was saying that there's a bunch of folks up in his village that make brushes, but they're not. He's in Nepal, so I have a friend of mine who lives in Nepal, and he said that they do make brushes for doing a bunch of art, but not on the scale that like we could even consider bringing in.
But there are craftsmen all over the world, and that's your resource, and you can even like apprentice in brush making.
Yeah, he said he's going to send us some though.
Oh, that's awesome! I do that.
And what's the paper? The dirt because the D. It's.
I don't remember, but I know what you mean.
It's a specific paper that they make out there in Nepal, and it's all handmade paper. It's really cool.
I'm going to put out a little glazing medium.
I just don't remember what it's called.
You guys don't need to use this if you don't want to, but I find that the next effects all work better with a little bit of glazing medium, so I'm going to put that there. One thing I can do if I want any of my clouds to be a little more filled in is if I come in and add that glazing medium, you can see that can help some of those more transparent bits.
Ooh.
See?
It's very glowy.
Yeah. Now we let that dry for a minute and think about what it's done. Think about what it's done.
It's glowed.
And we're going to come back.
It has certainly glowed.
If you remember, it's ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. Let's get into our dark forward mountain for this, which is ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, and phthalo green.
Burnt sienna to make that cool blue.
Yeah, I know. So crazy.
I was going to say something, but that just totally made my brain empty.
It just empties your brain. I know. I
What?
get it. Just tapping on the toe of this brush as well. This brush does some nice little trees. Want some little... I could have probably switched back to the bright, but this is in my hand, so why bother?
I don't know.
Exactly. Bring that down because I wanted to lower that hill, so I'll fill that in now. Into this, and I'm going to get some more white into it, more blue. Maybe even a little more blue. Here and
this sky is all glow, no shade.
This sky is all glow, no shade. The shadiness has worn me out so much that everything's going to be bright and cheerful in my art.
This is such our community thing. Hello, I'm leaving Michael's and I'll be in chat in 10 minutes.
I'm going to take a little bit of that white there, and I'm going to kind of...
See you, Mary.
See you soon, Mary. Safe shopping.
Get the gits.
I put a little bit of a kind of smoky jam there. Very light mountain in the background, and you can give this a second coat just to make sure that these are well covered. They're distant, right? Sometimes that second coat is just what the doctor ordered. I come here and sort of brush some highlights. Notice I'm barely touching the hill with my brush. The hill is still somewhat wet. And this is how I can create a little sense of form and mountainscape to it. I'm going to rinse out, dry out with a towel, get a little bit of my green and burnt sienna. And brush back up into the mountain. Really take this up into this area visually with my eye. Even though I know I've got trees and things that will be coming over this space and over this space, I still want to take the paint down snugly. Get a little yellow. Kind of brush that up. Get a little yellow. Brush that up. See how that's starting to create a distant valley? A little more yellow. Maybe a little white. There you go. Just creating a little sense of that drama in the background. Rinse. Take some of my pure phthalo. Bring it down. Because it's fun. I like it. Getting that, kind of letting it dry.
Yeah.
While I'm letting all that dry, I can choose to dry with my hair dryer and move back up to the sky. Or while I'm here, I can begin another coat on my path. So I'm going to take a little bit more black and brown.
And Welcome, Kimberly, to Emoji Club.
Welcome to Emoji Club.
First rule of Emoji Club is tell everybody about Emoji Club.
You don't have to do anything.
It helps support the channel.
All right.
You're just path walking.
I'm just creating that depth of path. It will help us later when we're
Okay.
adding bits of grass to it and things.
How come you're not using vertical strokes here?
I will come back with vertical strokes in a minute that create the grasses, but it'll be the contrast between these horizontal strokes and those vertical strokes that help create that sense of land. There we go. That's a nice little path.
It really is.
Rinsing out quite thoroughly. Quite thoroughly. And I'm going to take, oh, I didn't bring my fluid white over.
I'll get it.
Will you get it?
I can get it for you.
You'll get it for me? I'm going to sip my tea.
Sip
my tea,
your...
my coffee. Coffee. All right, so this is where we're at. We're actually cooking through. This is going to be over sooner than you think. No.
Just kidding.
No.
I know better. Although I was...
You thought that was just so funny.
I thought that would be interesting for a moment.
For a moment.
I did not follow through.
And that was so smart of you to not follow through. You have no idea. No idea. Okay, I'm going to put out a little fluid white.
Now, what is fluid white?
It is an acrylic paint that has a soft body polymer instead of a heavy body polymer. So you can see how these hold their shape in this sort of levels. It's like craft paint.
Okay, so what's the difference between like that and the craft paint that's in the small bottles at Michael's?
Quality.
Pigment load?
Pigment, quality of polymer, color shift. You could use the craft bottle, and guess what? There wouldn't be anything wrong with it. I use this one, the golden, because the titanium white in it is just so spectacular.
It does what you're about to see.
Well, it just has a lot, and it covers well. I'm going to come along here and kind of silver line some of these little clouds. Since the sun is low, the lining, can be affected by that. So I'm trying to be thoughtful about that, how that lines. I like the silver lining on the sky.
Mm-hmm.
You can see you can just sort of find your cloud shape in there, and it really just helps you locate it and really makes it wonderful. I'll just come through and think about, how would that go, Yeah,
that silver lining is really cool.
Just one of my favorite things. Life, you need a silver lining, and in art, you need a silver lining.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not lining every part of the clouds. I outline some of it.
Yeah, just some of that in there to highlight it.
Just put a little bit there. A little drama. create some drama.
Yeah. Where are you going over there?
I'm just making sure that my clouds,
Oh.
have all the drama they could use. Right. You don't have to do a lot, just a little bit goes a long way to catch little edges of that. Let's take a picture and we're going to continue on.
Okay. So this is step 5, I believe.
And John's going to, do you want me to dry it over here? Or you dry it? Okay, so John's going to dry it. That's just because I painted very thick and the paint underneath is very wet. And I'm going to want to layer here. So I want that paint to be dry enough to be able to layer the acrylic over it. Acrylic painting is about understanding when you want the paint to be wet for blending or for any particular technique, subtractive techniques, additive techniques, but sometimes you want the paint to be wet. Sometimes you want the paint to be dry. So finding those moments of understanding when your paint is wet or dry to move forward in a technique can be what it takes for success. I would love, if you have questions, throw them up, moderators. If you can get them to John, that would be amazing. And I know you guys do. I know you do. John gets so busy switching, sometimes he has trouble seeing them. But again, if I don't get to your question on the show, ask in the comments. Ask in the comments after. On any video, I go into my YouTube channel every single day. I don't just answer a few new questions from my newest video. I answer from my entire channel, and I try to put an hour's worth of that work in every single day, no matter what. So if you have a question on any video at any time, ask it. You have a pretty good chance I might see it and answer it, especially over here on YouTube. I can miss some stuff on Facebook because Facebook is massive and they don't have a really good interface for me to be able to say, hey, where are the questions to me? Like, really? And I miss a lot of important stuff, especially in Messenger. But on YouTube, they have a very good kind of dashboard for me to use where I can see questions. I can, if it's framed as a question, is it framed as a statement? Is it something I've answered before? So it really allows me to select what I want.
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you have any questions while you put up I'm going?
Yeah. So I was just going to go over here. Let me take a look. I just saw Paige and Charity and all. Man, we have so many people out here just supporting us. Thank you guys so much. I'm trying to slide up here so I can read the questions. We got so much. Wonderful. I don't see your cloud brush here. Are you going to be using those again soon? Maybe?
I don't even know how to answer that anymore, do you?
What I would say is that
they're awesome brushes, and I'm glad that I made them.
Yeah, so I would say they're good brushes.
They're good brushes. There's nothing wrong with the brush.
Nope.
At all. In any way.
But there may be just some changes in relationships happening, so we may find another suggestion for you.
You're probably home going, oh, I didn't know that was such an awkward question.
It's not.
If you wanted them, get them now. If you want them. If you had all they are dome scumblers. They do glazing, scumbling, thick painting. I have a series of lessons that are with the cloud brush. I think my moderators have a playlist for that.
Yeah.
And if you've wanted them, because that will be the end of, there are no other dome scumblers like this out there.
Yet.
Everything else is soft. So if you want them, you would get them now because they will not be out there forever.
No. Not in this not in this way.
Form.
Not in this way. We've got we're going to be doing a lot of new stuff.
Awkward.
It's not really awkward. It's just that we didn't have a prepared way of saying we got a new plan in the next year and
stuff is happening in our lives.
Stay tuned. Stay
tuned.
The only thing you can count on is change.
The only thing you can count on is change. I put on some more phthalo green, burnt sienna, and Mars black. I'm gonna get my phthalo green and burnt sienna and a little Mars black together, and I'm going to make a very deep, deep green. I'm going to come to this back hill.
Oops, this hill.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And I'm going to take my little brush, and you'll notice it's kind of like an up and down motion, much like clouds. You know, with bushes, you want to kind of randomize things.
The shrubbery.
The shrubbery, and that's really about highlights and shadows. I could probably do this with a bigger one, but I just wanted to have some control here. Here you might give more detail to the silhouette of it, allow some of the light to shine through, kind of show that it's not as far away. I just want to make some random little shapes coming down the hill. I'll just brush this here and then scumbly it back in. Might be easiest for me because everything down this hill has these little bushes.
Mm.
And push this up. See how we grow these weird little bushes?
I do.
Bush, beware bush. Grow.
Those are so nice.
Just some weird little bushes. Kind of create a little bit of height here. And these will really kind of frame the hill all the way down.
Oh, yeah.
Even as they get low, they're going to frame to where a path will disappear. And we'll come right across the street. And bush this way as well.
It's a path. Might even be a goat path.
For all we know, at the bottom of all this is a house off in the distance that we don't see. This is somebody works in the flower fields, sells flowers. This is their family's business. And they do this so well that this path is worn down. It was suggested that I do what my mom does and make this into a road.
Yeah.
But I did not want to.
No
So
road. It's a path.
I really like the path. But I have to say it was a good suggestion, and if that was your inclination, you should do it. And the reason I'm bringing it up is I didn't want, anyone to think it wasn't a good idea, because it was a good idea.
So.
And that's why you had it. It was a good idea. Trust yourself. Even if sometimes I kind of go my own way, if you guys have an instinct for something, come on, guys, trust yourselves.
Yeah.
You know, believe in what you can do and who you are. All right. So while this is having a dry, I'm going to come in with my fan brush, and I'm going to start taking a little of my burnt sienna and phthalo green together. Maybe a little cad yellow. And let's come here and sort of make some little upward. These are short strokes. I'm even kind of curving here.
Mm-hmm.
Begin this sense of grass and path. This is pretty dark. It does actually help that it was green before. You can see I kind of changed my directionality a little bit. With the path, I do want some grass to even kind of go in where we weave these through each other. Burnt sienna, phthalo green. You could, if you didn't want to mix colors, you could use a forest green here in place of what I've got going on. And I'm going to sweep up. And yeah, directionality and texture here will matter.
What does that mean, directionality and texture?
The direction that the brush makes and the texture, or like, see how it goes kind of like a little rough up and down texture?
Uh-huh.
That helps tell our brain that it's grass.
Oh, well, that makes sense. It looks grassy. But I guess if you made it all horizontal, it would look like water. Green water.
Mm-hmm. So these things are all of our tools that we can use at our disposal.
Speaking of tools, stay to the end to learn more about how you can get more tools.
That's right. Huge news, because this is the last 3 Hoot till December.
I think this is the first time we've ever done that.
What?
Make people stay to the end.
To find out? I know we're being weird. We're going to make like an official like channel ad and everything, and there's going to be news, so.
We're trying to be all YouTube-y.
We are.
Promote our stuff. Go to our channel. Subscribe.
Well, I want everyone to know about this because it's going to make it so much easier for people. So
this is actually like more than the other kind of, crazy stuff. This is super fun. That made no sense.
This is a love letter to new painters from me.
Yeah.
To them. What's coming up? Continue this dark. The
dark grass.
Dark grass. And these strokes, which are, you can see that when they're forward, they'll get a little bigger. When they're further away, they're a little shorter and more blended together. And you can see each layer, right? What does it create? It creates depth.
Is that a hog fan?
This one is a hog fan. This is a Silverstone hog fan.
Where are you at? There it is. It's a hog fan.
It's a number 2. I also have the Art Sherpa, which you guys should get while you can. Number 4.
Oh. Where you at? Oh, I'm all over the place with my cameras today. Once you get this under grass in, you gonna keep using the same brush?
I'm gonna switch between this one and this one just to see which one gives me better little stippling dots for the faraway flowers.
Oh, okay.
When I do these on a 9x12, right? It has some different requirements than a 16x20.
Right.
So sometimes I have to kind of know that I'm going to be using a certain type of brush, but I might not know exactly, which fan I'm going to prefer. We're going to do upward strokes over here. Again, this is a burnt sienna and a phthalo green. It's very powerful mixture. Looking pretty good though. All right. Let's call this a step because that was quite a lot of work and we went a little, look, we have black.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
But when we come back next with the 2 highlights, it's going to make bushes and grass. So.
I'll do that. So what it was is you can put that back up there for a second. You can see what it was is I had adjusted the, so each camera sees the surface at a slightly different reflected angle. And so I'm constantly having to adjust the camera up and down so that you can see that balanced picture. So it's a little challenge.
If you are sitting or standing, remember to every once in a while move your body around. You don't want to hunch over your artwork, so be sure that you're paying attention to your spine position, your head position, your neck position. When we did the Art Sherpa retreats, well, for the half second the world wasn't shut down, we actually had some come lead stretching classes. Teresa Lacoste was leading stretching classes for our attendees, because like I thought what would be really fun is to make them paint all day, all day, all day, every day. Some people were a little tired, and the stretching became necessary, because all day. That's what I like to do. Make you paint all day. All right. So we have deep value there. What we've got to do now is start creating contrast using lighter shades of our colors.
Okay.
So let's begin that. Creating lighter shades of our colors. I'm going to go back into this number 8 Raphael Artigiani round. Oh, no, is it 8 or 6? Oh, I can read these. You know what? Blonde wood with blonde gold printing, not a great plan. Just going to say it. I'm going to mix up my basic green again. And come in and add some cad yellow to it. And just come find a little bit of kind of shape to the bushes using our lighter value. Okay. You know, just get a little bit of the lighter value. You can see that the contrast of the light and dark. Just making sure what you can see, which is what you see me turning around because John had to go grab something. And he's like, over your right shoulder, so I got to pay attention to where you guys are so I don't lose you. Right? There we go. And come across here in kind of a similar fashion. Just finding the areas where light might have hit these. You know, maybe capture a little dimensionality. I'm going to come back in with a lot more yellow into that mix. Maybe even a little white. And capture the tops of branches. And what you'll find is that starts to really give objects form. Kind of light with it. It doesn't need to be everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for all the stars, everyone.
Oh my gosh, I love the stars. Thank you for the stars.
You're so sparkly. I like all the emojis.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for joining our patronage. Thank you for sharing videos. Thank you for making videos and posting on TikTok so I can like it. Thank you for putting them on Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook and all the places. And then also saying, hey, I took a class with the Art Sherpa. It's really wonderful of you guys. I would not be here without you. And I really, really appreciate it.
We love doing this. Oh, thank you everyone for this wonderful stickers and
Stickers. I used to collect stickers.
Christina sent a big trophy sticker.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Gonna add a little more yellow and white. Just so we have some little contrast to these little bushes here. The center of the valley. And it still shows from the back valley.
Jenna just had a total grr moment.
Grr?
Yeah. Middle of chat. I love tacos. That's a impromptu statement that can be made at any time.
Yeah, well, I agree with
Oops,
you. They are good
my
tacos.
camera looked up. Whoop, there you go.
All right. There we go. So we have some distance, and now we're going to start adding some grass. We're going to start putting in some grass with all of this. And there's a lot of ways that we can do that. Grass comb, fan brush. Let's start with a fan brush. And I'll continue on with my hog. Just find some green that's a little brighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Short strokes.
Short.
Short strokes. Like shortcake, short strokes, short steps.
I'm going to sing the Doom song now.
Doom, 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 doom. Everybody loves Zim.
There's certainly a grr following among us.
Well, of course there is. Couldn't watch me and not love Gurr.
For
Sometimes it's
all
nice
of you
to-
humans watching our show, please click the subscribe button, then the small bell
Dude,
next to it.
You want to subscribe. If you're a beginner and you're like, oh, this is too complicated for me, I need something else, wait. Subscribe. Next month there's news.
The tallest
You can
has
stay
told
to the
us-
end to find out what that news is if you want.
The tallest has told us that we must prepare for the invasion by getting all of the subscribers.
Well, I know I'm not the tallest. It certainly isn't
Well, that's
your
what the
mom.
tallest told us. That was the instruction
Your
from
mom.
the tallest.
In spite your mom's claims, your mom is not the tallest. My mom may be the tallest. You're the tallest
I think I'm the tallest.
in the family. You're the tallest. So this is sort of distant grass, right?
Yeah, some of it is. Christina's like, thank you for making my dinner plans. It is Taco Saturday.
Tacos. I want tacos actually too. Where
We
can
can
I get
taco.
tacos?
How about we all taco tonight? Because we got taco fixins.
Everybody taco.
Mmm.
Rocco the taco.
And
There we go.
Sam McKitty says, what about that cat painting behind you there, Sherpa?
This one?
Well, there's a couple cats. I think
This one.
I meant
This
the two
is
cats.
patrons. This
Is
is
it-
a patron lesson.
Where's the two cats?
Or this
it
cat,
two
or
cats?
this cat, or this cat.
I think that's probably the cats that they mean.
If this is
there's
the cats
lots of
that you
cats.
mean, there's 4 cats.
As I pull back, there's another cat over in the corner to the lower left. See the cat below the eye? To your left?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Where's
Over
the cat?
there. To the left. Left. Keep going left.
The eye's here.
Go down.
Oh, there's another cat. Okay. I paint too much.
There's some see what else.
I'm adding little highlights, guys. Short little strokes
Okay.
and little highlights. Short, short, short. If you're not getting enough control with your fan, switch to your grass comb. Your greeners. We just want to make sure that we have some nice randomy looking grass. Go on the corner and just tap it down. What? I know, it's so pretty. What? I know, it's just glorious. Grass, glorious grass.
Everybody's like, cat, 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 cat. cat.
Cat.
Irene is like, okay, so who else just pointed at their monitor at a cat? They saw the cats that they wanted.
They're all good cats.
I don't know about that. You know.
All right. I'm going to take some yellow and make a very bright green. I'm even going to add a little white to it. This is sort of like a highlight here. And we're gonna...
I'm speaking of the goodness of cats and not on the goodness of your painting. Because I don't know that all cats are good.
All cats are good.
I think they may be diametrically opposed to that from a, let's say that I would say at best they're chaotic neutral.
So sometimes I use the corner of my brush when I need to highlight a little area and I don't, I need to get some but not all. I'm just very light pressure and you can see what I'm trying to do is just capture little bits and ignore John's cat attacks.
Oh, they're not cat attacks, they're observations. It's like, it's not like saying something like DC is bad. That's like empirically.
Oh my gosh, stop with that. All right. So now what we have is a beautiful walkway where we've got the beginnings of some lovely grass going off into the distance. Let's call this a step.
All
and
right.
Come back and we'll continue to develop elements of our painting.
Well, you talk to them and I'll take a picture.
Okay. How are you guys doing? So I didn't end up using my dome blender on this one. And what I had it out for was the clouds, but I just had a lot of success with my hog brush. If you're trying to do clouds or blending, I do recommend one of these. It's very different from my personal cloud in that this is scumbly. This is a very stiff filament and it scratches, it puts down thick paint, it works like a palette knife. It does little airy kind of stratus clouds. It really helps you get that dry brushing. And I have a bunch of videos on it. This is very soft camel hair, not actual camel or pony. I don't remember if they listed pony. Either way, the animal listed is not the animal using the brush. It's just a blend of hairs. Yeah, no, that's what I just said. Yeah. I wasn't confused. But sometimes they do that with pony too. All right. So we have this. We've got to continue developing, some of this space down here before we get to enjoy the flower fields.
Must. It must happen.
I'm going to get my small round and I'm going to put out some cad red and cad yellow and more brown.
These going to make crazy colors too?
No, very expected colors.
Okay.
We're not going to have an unexpected purple. But I mean, hey, that's fun, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a little more brown out over here.
Yep.
Yay.
Unanimously, they're like, the black and white kitties on the wall. Those are the ones we want.
Oh, good. You'll be very happy then.
Ooh.
In November. But stay to the end so you'll know why. I'm going to continue to add a little bit of red and yellow together. I'm going to make an orange. Let's get some brown into that. And it's going to make us a nice light color. Come in and start to think about ways to show the dry and worn out grass. Making little kind of short, rough directional strokes kind of imply the ground. My brush is very rough, so it leaves a lot of canvas showing through. That's important.
That makes it painterly.
And come in with some black. Not afraid to add black around to create some shadows here.
Hello, Annette in Queensland, Australia.
Hi, Annette.
So far away. Probably
So far away.
That's there are a few places on the planet that could be farther than where we are currently, and I think that's kind of magical. That all the way on the opposite hemisphere, on the opposite side of this sphere, spinning through the universe, hurtling through time and space, we are here painting together.
I'm adding a little white and yellow to this mix. This is sort of like dried, trampled grasses.
Ooh. That's Darcy, that could be a thing. Make your own brushes.
You know what? You're not wrong, Darcy. I'm going to add some just burnt sienna because it's just so dramatic against this painting. As you can see, the brown is very dramatic.
You're at home thinking about making brushes. You look over at your cat's tail. Cat looks at you like, don't even think about it.
Better for watercolor anyways.
The dog runs.
Oh, I saw a TikTok video where they made a sweater out of their dog's hair.
Just from the shedding?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
They
sure.
collected it up. They wetted it out. I'm adding little bits of brown that's going to show through our greenery as we come forward. We'll come and put it back as we go, but you just want to kind of have that kind of going on.
If you had a Persian cat, that'd be easy to make a sweater with. Just every day.
They are a sweater.
I know. You just give them a little brushing every day. It'd be like wool.
I had a little yellow and white and creating kind of this like...
I'm going to Google that. I bet you somebody's made.
Oh, and you have to. If they made it from a dog, for sure they've made it from Persian.
I mean, that just seems like a bored at home over COVID activity. I'm going to brush my cat.
Make a sweater. I'm pretty sure that's where the dog hair sweater came from.
Probably.
All right, I'm going to change brushes now just to make things easier for myself and get back into my fan brush.
Yeah.
For the moment.
For the moment.
And get a little bit of my black and brown together. And I'm going to kind of paint the path here. Add a little bit of dark shadow in the path coming up, as you do. The path is where feet have trampled the green grass and killed it. And this is just the number 2 hog fan. You could use my Art Sherpa fan. You wanted?
Jennifer's like, my aunt made yarn from my pet.
See, I believe it.
I believe it. That seems like a total... I know
Stand
how
back
to do
for
a
a
thing.
second. Make sure I'm really liking the way this is going.
Yeah.
So much. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of my brown. Making kind of some brighter. See how that's bright?
I do.
Doesn't feel bright on the palette, but sometimes when you get it out here, you're like, oh.
Good night, Raheel.
Raheel, good night.
He's on the other side of the planet as well.
Yeah, I always appreciate Raheel. And Jackson. So many of our younger viewers.
I think India has like a really interesting time zone thing. Like I remember it's like they have one time zone. Very unusual. As far as like America is concerned, where we have a billion time zones and daylight savings, and So anyway, I thought that was neat.
I'm going to want to make sure that there's some dirt showing through the grass.
Dirt.
I'm going to come here and get some lighter grass. It's sort of the dead. Kind of look at that.
Go look.
And then look at it.
I'm gonna.
I like it. And I rinse out this brush. So
hard
much
to-
I'm going to rinse out this brush.
Because you have to.
And I'm going to put out more green, and I've got plenty of brown. And I probably need more yellow. Lello, lello. Mellow, lello. And I've got plenty of white, so I'm going to stay where I am. Other than this. And I'm going to continue my grass forward.
Yeah.
The reason I'm not here is because the size of the brushes are so small, right? The grass combs are a little bit small to work this.
So you gotta.
I need a bigger grass comb. I'm gonna make one.
Gonna
If it had me
need a bigger
scissors now,
brush.
I'd make one out of one of my cat's tongues. All right, I'm gonna take a little of my green and brown again and add some yellow. You'll see me do shorter strokes and some longer strokes. I'm kind of making the grass go a bunch of different directions, right? Ooh, you kind of got into the path there, grass. Just enjoy the painting. It's really just very relaxing. Grass shows up best if you have a dark basis. And you have a little darkness in it, and it's going to show up pretty well.
Well, if you're gonna have the darkness over, you better get them to play "I Believe in a Thing Called Love."
I knew that was coming the minute I said it. I said, oh man,
The
I
darkness.
fell right into that, and I knew it could happen to me.
That was like the best band that was eaten by the 70s and regurgitated in the 2000s.
I'm going to continue to add yellow to this grass, which again was phthalo blue, phthalo green, burnt sienna, and cad yellow. You can see the load of my fan, and I'm just doing little touches.
I mean,
Be multi-directional with your grass. Sometimes it should be kind of short and long, right?
the only other music from that era that's still rocking that hard is probably Sweet. The band Sweet. They're still going, which is awesome.
I did not know that.
Yeah. They're English hardcore rockers, so it makes
It's a
sense.
very thing. That's a thing you would definitely know.
Well, Sweet's awesome. Everyone's
I'm
going to go.
just adding
"Who's
little
Sweet?" They're gonna go,
highlights to this grass and trying to make sure that it feels like, there's sort of this clear-cut area. Can always come and get just some pure phthalo green, man. At this stage, never underestimate the power of that pure pigment, because it comes in and it really dramas it up. Play, play, play. Play all day. Little white, little yellow. Really just let the sun hit it.
Paula's like, I speak sweet. I know this.
What?
She knows the band. She's
Oh.
a big fan.
Okay, it's like a little more yellow, maybe a little white into this. Get that very like spring green kind of almost. Make sure that there's some light. Through there, right? Doesn't that look lovely? A little grass path?
Mm-hmm.
Grass path. A little grass path. All right.
All right.
Step.
Is it?
Step.
You're going to step this? All right.
Step this, and my last clean cup of water, so I'm going to need water replaced, and, okay. And then, how is everybody doing in their painting? This is actually, this is one of those landscape paintings I actually was really excited to do because it's relaxing. Sometimes a fall forest, it's a highly focused little journey. Fallen trees, there's so many textures and colors and values and reflections. But this is just sort of like understanding the layers and just relaxing into it and painting forward and having you guys are going to love your landscapes when you get them. You're going to just think they are the bomb. Telling them what is going on in what way. Oh, okay. So we still have a little green to add, and we're going to start putting in flowers. What we want to do is make sure we've got some depth where this is kind of cut forward and the flowers are closer to us. And again, some depth and everything in here. I may switch into my angle brush because that gives me a very nice kind of counterbalance stalk to what I have. And I like that. I'm going to get my 1/2 inch, or is this my 3/8? 3/4 inch. 1/2 inch would work too. Little angle. And then I'm going to come here and make sure that I have some nice dark. How dark? As dark as necessary.
Because the darkness.
Because the darkness.
Hey, don't do that, focuser. It's trying to focus.
Okay. Just trying to make sure I've got a nice little edge here where my grass sort of turns. It's going really, really well.
Yeah.
I like that quite a lot. As per we've been doing, we make our base mix and get a little yellow into it. Gonna need a little more yellow than that, but let's start here.
So if you're working up close, could you use a fan brush here?
You could. You could use a fan brush. I like to kind of in this area sort of piece things out a little bit. Just to give that contrast, but there's no rule saying that is what needs to happen.
Right.
In any way. I do like to make sure that these are lots of different directions. I'll make sure there's some more yellow out. May also pull a little phthalo out in a minute.
Yeah.
I think I had it listed in the description. I may pull it out.
Ooh.
Come here and kind of. Just try to keep that, random and like it's a very solid set of growth that's happening.
Yeah. Wow, congratulations, LL. She's been losing weight while painting. She's like got a program down and doing her thing. Congratulations. Doing her health plan.
Good for you.
Making things work.
Everything we do to self-care is a good idea. Self-care.
Self-care is good.
Important.
Like, because there's, it's a bit of work to stand at the easel every day.
It really is.
Shouldn't be your only workout, but
you know what, guys? I don't think I'm going to need any phthalo blue.
No?
No.
Why not?
I don't think I am. Everything is it just doesn't require it here.
It is.
It is not needing it. I have all the value and tonality and everything that I need. We'll see it by the end, but I just will be surprised. If I do, it's going kind of well. I have to add some more depth back in, and I can do that. This time I just took the ultramarine blue and phthalo green, and it was just fine. So I think I just had it out, and I had used it there, and you don't need to get the extra color out.
I love how close to the flowers we're getting. It's like everything else is getting done, and then the flowers are going to go on. It's going to be like bang, 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 bang. Done!
It really is.
Like firecrackers. Pop, 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 pop.
I think so.
Paula says, being involved in this group is my best self-care.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. We
That's
love
nice
having
to
you here.
read.
I think that we make it safe for each other, so thank you. We appreciate you being here because we're all part of the us.
We are all part of the us.
There's no I in us.
Goodness gracious. Continue to make sure that there's some depth here. We can always come back with more value. I'm using my 8 round again just to try to make sure that as it goes forward, things have shadow. Spend a moment with it. It won't hurt you. All right, let's take a picture and come back and start to add some bounty of fields of flowers. I'm not saying we're done with green because we certainly are not, but we are absolutely moving on to all the pinks and oranges and yellows that will make up the cosmos flowers. Now, it's really funny because I have been calling cosmos flowers Cosmo flowers for a while, which really gave me some very strange internet searches whenever I would look for references, and especially in my photo site that I license references from. And I kept thinking there has to be better references for this flower, but I wasn't getting any. And then I looked it up online and realized it was Cosmos, not Cosmo. And that definitely improved my search result. It's been really crazy. I love seeing everything that you guys have been doing, especially in group when you're sharing it. I really appreciate it. Appreciate that you paint with me, and I appreciate that you guys do the paintings and you share them. It means a lot, and you're all much better than you think. I think the number one thing that you guys struggle with is just self-acceptance and realizing you're doing okay in your painting. It's so easy for everyone to go, I did this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. But it's so hard to go, oh, I did good. Or I understood this differently than I did last time. Or this was a breakthrough for me. Sometimes we kind of take our paintings in as the result instead of their process and journey. So we start to evaluate, like, was this painting worth it based on how you enjoyed the process of it versus what was this painting like versus on how it impacted your journey.
I'm going to give them a step. Because we're on a step 9.
We are on step 9.
The infamous step 9.
9!
The one
7,
that
8, 9.
Well, apparently not, because 9's here today.
So see? It's all rumors and innuendo.
It is. We just never know with these numbers. They like to play games.
Yeah, they like to get in your head, man.
Number games. There's just, no end to it.
Now I'm going to stay Masterson wet palette here. And I am going to mist it just so that it continues from the top to not let go. And I think I'm going to start with my Art Sherpa fan brush here.
Is it number 4?
It's my number 4 Art Sherpa fan. And I'm going to just kind of, I want a deep pink. I'm going to see how it does on those distant flowers. So on the distant ones, you want them to come up a little as if there's little flower heads that are far away above the field.
Now, does it matter which way you hold the brush here?
Well, if you hold the brush down, they're going to mound this way. If you hold the brush up, they're going to concave that way. So I think for the purposes of making sure that they have an overarching upward, kind of point, I would say, yeah, maybe.
So you may want to keep the brush so
handle down.
Handle down. Down. Words. I will use them someday.
Someday.
Your earthling language is hard for my tongue.
So we're just tapping, 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 and getting little flower heads in the distance. This is one of those paintings that if you wanted to get into your neon pinks and stuff, this would be one you could really do. And it would be all right. Distant flowers. The heads are very close together. And they're almost a solid mass. Kind of inclined to want to even get maybe some of my phthalo green, quinacridone magenta purple going.
Oh, that's a crazy color.
We have that kind of some at the edges, so I can put that in. Maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Ah.
My pressure's very light. Just tapping the brush, and that's letting the little...
Whoa, that's cool. Those colors on the brush.
Yeah. Was that cool, or is that you doing that thing you did in that one video I made for TikTok?
No, I mean, like, actually, so here's the thing, is that sometimes I do go, whoa, that's cool, look at that thing, because I've not seen that before. And then someone makes fun of me because I'm all, like, enthusiastically interested in art. But that's kind of my job. I have these robot cameras, and I look at paint dry. It's like the thing I do. It's my professional job. Let me be excited about the drying paint.
I'm going to come over here and kind of get some distant, kind of far off.
Like,
so this brush over the hog gives you very clean dots where you want maybe some crisp edge work up here. And then the hog does a blended softer flower. Either you could do the whole painting with one or the other, and there isn't really a right or wrong choice here.
Yeah.
It's just about trying to get what you want. Added a lot of white to create some softer flowers.
Hello, that's my professional job. I am a professional paint dryer watcher.
That's true. I'm trying to hide the shape of the brush here. I'll take advantage of its crisp shape. Get some distant little... Ooh, what happens? These are smaller, fainter, far away. All right. I may bring that back out in a minute, but I think for the mass effect, I'm going to go a little pink, add some white. Kind of fill in my field here just a little bit faster. Sometimes I'll get more white on it. I want it to be mixed enough on my brush that I'm not leaving little repeated spots of white, making, like snow like what you see on a TV.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of want to avoid snow like what you see on a TV.
Oh, you mean like the static snow?
Yeah.
Not like, I saw snow on National Geographic.
Right. Sometimes I'll use just the pure pink.
Cosmic background radiation visualized as black and white artifacts.
I imagine a lot of people did not know that.
Yep. Cosmic background radiation. That's what static is.
Maybe then we do want to paint static, because that's kind of awesome.
It's the word. You must be able to listen. And you know what it says? Go paint! PR knew.
Just stand back and make sure I like my positioning of everything, which I do.
Oh, right there.
I can press harder when I'm closer. And then I'm going to be blending some green in through there so everything's okay there.
Dawn would like to know, if you made a massive mistake, could you dry it and repaint it?
Yes, you can always dry and repaint with acrylic. It's like it's a whole thing.
That's its magic trick.
That is its most magic trick. And continue to paint this through here. And it's really just about filling it in.
Now, could you do that slowly there so they can see what you're doing?
Just tapping up and down.
Okay, so you tap and kind of let it spring the brush down a little bit, and that gets you the little strokey looking thing.
And see how we're kind of hiding the pattern?
I see it, but I don't believe it.
We're hiding the pattern. We're increasing the depth of the color on the painting, right, to that deep pink.
You must walk the pattern.
We've got some little distant thoughts that we did back there. Those hues over there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot to paint.
It is.
No, Twix, not right now, sweetheart.
Dog comes in. Time to pay attention to me now. That is just something.
I know, Twixie. Yeah, she's a good girl.
She's going to
Good
get comfortable. I promise.
She's a good girl. Been just so hard with the puppy lately. So hard. Harder every day. Harder every day. Nobody understands. Nobody understands. Nobody understands. I'm going to have to put on some more paint, sweetie.
Huh? She's like, no, I am here.
Sometimes, you know, the little creatures in your life need your attention when they need your attention. I put the brush away from the dog. I'm going to open with this hand to squeeze out. Watching the positioning of the paint.
Oh, the dog is so funny. Look at her. She's just like, I'm being held.
And just reload. The big trick is to just hold my brush facing away in the mouth. And that's how I make sure that I don't get any paint on her. I think I want to bring the grass up a little further here.
She's having a good time there.
Yeah, she's super happy. Adding a little white. It doesn't have to be fluid or I might even get some yellow into it. It doesn't have to be fluid or heavy bodied. It just I'm lightening the value. And tapping areas where there are lighter pinks.
Aw, and thank you guys all for the patron support for Twix.
Aw, Twixie. They got you treaties. I'm gonna need to get a dog carrier, like a front pack.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because she'll just be like, this is where I'm going to be for a while.
All day.
Corgis do the backpack thing.
Mm-hmm.
Get a Corgi,
I think the problem
Corgi pack.
with the Corgi right now is the Corgi keeps booping the nose into the older dogs, and the older dogs don't like the boop.
No.
They are not a fan of the boop moment. It does not feel lighthearted to them. And they just not like it, Sam I am.
She's going to go to sleep there.
Oh, no. It just is what it is, guys. All right, just continuing to add highlights. And, you know, this is something I'm going to do on the other side. I try to capture little clumps through here. Capture little clumps. Same thing, other side.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. I think she feels better. Just don't think she wants to go anywhere.
Nope. I may take her, though.
You may need to. You may need to take her and cuddle her. Somebody's been giving her a lot of treaties. Oh, she's like, no! All right. We're going to go give her some extra treaties and attention. John is taking her off for that. Just painting this here, kind of adding to the solid sort of sense of flowers that are going on. I can get a little more white into that mix. I'm adding more white into the mix. So I added more white to the pink that I already had out. I didn't mix new color, I just added white to the pink. Again, adding white to the pink to create a light value. Here towards the front of this, I might increase the lightness of the flowers. Just generally. Right there. I don't want to make a completely obvious pattern though, so sometimes I've got to kind of twirl my brush and make sure that I'm hiding it. See how I'm doing? Hiding that pattern.
You must walk without pattern.
Yeah. Walk without rhythm.
Well, if you walk without rhythm, you're never going to learn. So says Fat Boy Slim.
That may be true, but Fat Boy Slim would not do well on the planet of Arrakis, so...
I don't know. It might be okay.
You'd be like full Fremen in a week?
Yeah. Be like, no, we got this.
And just making sure that the fields, they have to like, honestly, if they can feel very planted and very solid, you're going to enjoy the effect the most out of everything that you've got going on. You can see each layer creates that solid sense of what's going on. Let's call it a step.
A step?
We've
already?
just gone a long way.
Yeah.
And we're going to step.
All right.
And then we're going to come in and add colors. You can dry it. At this stage, I would dry. Sometimes blending on the canvas is to your benefit. Sometimes when you're coming in with like surprise colors, like oranges or greens, it can help you to dry so that the color underneath doesn't pick up and mute out too much on what you're doing. So you could probably do the whole thing through wet into wet, but I would recommend drying at this stage. I think it will help the color saturation on your end result. Like many of you talked to me about, like, my colors are really dull. The first thing that you can do to prevent dull colors is to change your water. And the second thing that you can do to prevent dull colors is to know when the underneath layer needs to be dry. And I'm actually thinking I need to add that to a document outline that I'm working on right now. So remind me of that later. John? It's okay. I'll watch the video. Somebody will remind me. Change water. Dry underneath. Just reminding myself of something I have to add in my document.
Okay.
Okay, I'm really loving this painting. To so much.
I think it looks pretty fantastic myself.
All
All right,
right.
before we go on.
Step?
I think we're on step 10.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like that, but make sure the mods say that's true.
I'm going to
How are you
ask
guys
before I
doing
put
at
it
home?
up.
You holding up okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you've got this. You have got this. You can do it. You can finish this painting. You can give this as that gift over the holiday season. You can put this on your wall in your room. You can do this. All right, let's continue on step 10. Let's make sure that it looks like we've got a little bit of the greenery in our flowers. So I'm going to take a little bit of my phthalo green and some cad yellow and kind of come in here and let's add perhaps a little bit of distant green. What? I know, it's so cool.
Just touches of green in the field.
Maybe like right here, kind of coming up. Because of course, you know, the green as much as the pink would show through, right? It's not everywhere. It's not intergalactic background noise, universal background noise. It is just a little bit of color that you might expect to be peeking between the flowers. I'm going to go ahead and kind of make this more. I'm just on the edge here. Just because I want to exaggerate what's going on here even a little more, I'm going to come in and put in some more grasses. See how I'm filling that in? And that's just perfectly okay. That works really well. All right, a little more yellow. This is a much lighter color, right? And a little bit in. Perhaps. A little darker green sometimes, a little lighter green. There we go. Thinking about that, rinsing, rinsing, rinsing. Oh, so rinsed, so completely rinsed. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take a little of my yellow and a little of my red, and I'm going to make a bright orange.
You move those brushes there just to the upper right. Those yeah, right there. Thanks. Thanks, perfect.
And I'm going to get some orange.
Oh, this is coming in fast.
And once you start to
Get the flowers.
yeah, it is its own.
The field fills itself.
The field kind of does fill itself. And I feel like the color really like pulls it all together.
Oh, it does.
Maybe a little more red. I want it to be a bright orange. Again, if you didn't want to mix, you could use a pyro red or a cad red light or orange. Not pyro red, a pyro orange, Senalier orange. Like there's a lot of colors that you could use. Or if you just didn't want to mix the orange, if you're having trouble getting a good orange, that's the thing that you can do. I'm going to mix some nice distant. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
I'll kind of see it and play with it. The oranges can range anywhere from almost a deep red to a yellow, so we have a lot of room to play. I'm going to come across the other side, kind of make sure I've got some balance and color. And again, we're talking about kind of raising up some of the greenery into this, so we'll be getting into that as a detail thing towards the end. And go ahead and add a lot more yellow.
Super thank you to everybody who's come and hung out with us today, who's commented and shared and liked. And most of all, thank to everyone who paints with us and shares that online. It is the reward for what we do, is going out and seeing all the beautiful paintings that you guys do. So we love, love, love. What are you doing? Wait, what's that?
I'm tapping here and I'm tapping up and down here.
Okay. So we love seeing all these, especially the tapping bits that you've done. So share the pictures.
You know, definitely like look at your flowers, right? You want to make sure that when you look, you're like, okay, that's.
What size fan brush for muted flowers?
For what?
Maybe I'm not sure. So when Wendelin was asking what size fan brush for muted flowers, but perhaps that was a typo for maybe medium flowers? I don't know. Do you have some thoughts on brush size and flowers?
You know, here's my thought, not being in your studio. I would size up and size down and make test brush strokes and then decide what works best for what you have going on.
There is no one brush to rule them all.
There is no one brush to rule them all. It's super true.
Although Cinnamon does sometimes get on like a little, like, I shall not change my tool.
Just... all right, maybe a little.
But mostly because she's just getting into the zone, and then the paintbrush gets loaded with some pretty mix, and then she's like, but I don't want to put down this. It's got a load of paint on it.
All right, now I'm going to take this and let's get a bunch of white. There's just a smidge of this pink on here, but mostly it's white.
Is that the titanium white?
Titanium white. That's all I have out on my palette.
Yeah, and that's the fluid one you had earlier?
No, that was the heavy body. The fluid one's there. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
This. For this, it doesn't matter which white you use, and you could use either. Some light flowers, right? Tap it up and down and kind of make little clusters. So fun. You could do this with Q-tips too.
Yeah.
I think we have actually. I think I have a painting that is almost basically this with Q-tips and a sponge and no brush. Is that Twix?
Yeah.
Oh, she's zooming?
She's
got the
doing
zoomies?
Yeah.
Zoomies! Must have been the attention.
Yeah.
put out some fresh heavy body white. And again, it could be this fluid. It doesn't matter. I just want a light color.
There's that field. She's like, you will play with me now.
Oh, that's so sweet. But I cannot, pumpkin. Those are some zoomies. I'm sorry y'all are missing the zoomies.
I'm going to see what I can do.
There's no way to see, and I don't know what the floor is.
You're okay.
On.
I know.
All right, ignore my feelings.
I can't see. I'm just seeing what I can even see.
Oh, okay. That's not the camera going. That's not.
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was like, what are you showing people?
I was trying to see if we could find it, but
No.
all it.
Sorry, house anxiety just hit me, guys. Some of you know what that's like.
She's like, nope.
I can't. I just think I can't. I can't. It does. You can't. It does. You can't. Oh my gosh. Okay. For a little bit, and then Dad will come get you. Okay. I think I made a boo-boo here. And I'll just blend that in because I don't mind.
I don't know what she's looking at.
I don't know what she's looking at either. Maybe blend a little pink back into it because it's got a little bit. We just got a little bit.
Huh.
A little pink back into it. Sometimes that happens. It just gets a little bit deep, right? Does you Twix? It's good girl. It's good girl. You is loved. Okay. Distractions aside, I think the painting is still coming out. So
It is. It's coming together
you
really
want to
nice.
grab her so she doesn't feel like she just got
Sure.
ignored and put down?
Actually, here, Luna, you go get her. Go get Trixie.
Here, pumpkin. You take her. Give her a treaty. All right. Let's call this a step, and then we're going to start the forward flowers.
Okay.
Whew. We are nearly done. We're coming to the end of our journey, which is probably why Twix is like, you're supposed to be done painting by now, right? Like, we had a deal, and it was fetch time, and you missed fetch time, and so now I zoomies on my own and exercise myself, and, you know, I don't know. Do you at home, anybody else at home have to pick up their pet while painting? Like, is that the moment when your pet is like, I love you so much. Do you love me? I love you. As my pet. So put out a little more green. I've got some yellow, and I'm going to continue the grass. And then I'm going to also...
Not sure what happened.
I'm going to use a big round this time. You could use a number 4 round. I'm going to use a number 8 black pearl, and I'm going to grab a little of my green, my burnt sienna, and some of my cad yellow. And we're going to come here and just make sure that I've got nice little blend into what is above here. And I don't know, I might have to get into a smaller brush. I might add some kind of longer little buds peeking out of the flowers. The zoomies are not over. Zoomies are continuing. If you're not familiar, you probably are, but if you're not familiar, zoomies is this behavior that rabbits and I know cats and dogs and even horses do, where they have just excess energy and they work out that excess energy by running in a very tight circle as fast as they can, fiercely.
The camera can't go down far enough to see her doing it on the carpet. I can't adjust the camera far enough over to see her doing it on the carpet.
John will work on that. Maybe there'll be a Twix
maybe next
cam.
time. Yeah, next time I'll get a camera on her.
A Twix cam.
Yep.
The Twix cams.
I can just barely see where the microwave's at, so she can't. I can't get to her.
Yeah, because she's behind. Oh, she's just really about it. She has felt pent up. I'm just continuing to add sort of like maybe some of these deep grasses. And remember, you can come up into your flowers a few places and include some little leaves that might be coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Where you want it to be lighter, it's a little more yellow, and sometimes when yellow isn't enough to white, then you can even go back and add some white.
This is quite a nice painting.
I'm enjoying it. Now, to do this next part, I do feel like I will want the green completely dry. And get some more yellow. And I'm going to just go on the toe of the brush, and I'm going to try to make sure, whoops, that's a big one. Doesn't really matter, that I have lights and darks and fine and wide. Okay, let's dry this, take a picture, and then we'll come back and put the big detail flowers in.
All right.
This is really, 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 really almost over, guys. Okay, so I could tell you, we're almost to the end of the video, so I can tell you what's going on. In November, I am going to, starting the 2nd through the 30th, have a course, meets Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays, and it's going to cover what a beginner absolutely has to know to start painting. I'm going to base it off of primary colors, white and black. It's going to be very few brushes. We were talking about size of canvas there. We may do 16 by 20 just so students can see everything really well. I haven't quite worked it out. It will basically go answer all the questions that I have had to answer over 7 years to brand new painters, but put it into a series that's consumable and digestible and complete and not interrupted by anything else. So it'll be a series of informational courses about everything, how to set up a studio, everything you need to know as a level 1 beginner about acrylic paint, about brushes, about surfaces, about technique, about color mixing, the basics, and then 10 paintings that are all half hoot, 1 hoot. And if you go through the course from November 2nd through the 30th, at the end of it, you will be able to have a confidence in your painting because you'll understand those first skills. Like this is going back, and I'm just assuming you don't know which side of the brush is what it's called, how to load it, how to unscrew tube of paint, like basics to the beginning, basics to the first techniques.
And those are coming soon. Very soon.
Starting November 2nd.
Look at that.
Yeah, coming soon. And it's free. It's not going to cost you anything.
This is all free.
It's not going to cost you anything at all. In fact, probably the patrons are going to be the ones that get more complicated lessons during that month.
I'm going to ask you some questions as you finish up this next step.
Okay.
So I'm going to get you some steps here.
All right. I'm going to come in. I'm going to make sure I've got enough yellow, and I'm going to make some flowers.
This is step 12.
Yeah. We're done, though, at the end of this, so. Now we need to paint some flowers that are kind of like the bowl shape of what we're doing. I'm going to begin. I've still got my big round. Sometimes if you have a good round and it's big, it's actually wonderful as long as it comes to a small point.
Multi-purpose.
Yes, multi-purpose. So I'm going to come here and make some larger dots. You see how I'm doing?
Yeah.
These are the flowers that maybe are closer to us.
Yeah.
And we can see better. What questions were you going to ask me?
So, yeah. How long will each of these lessons be?
The informationals we're going to, nothing over 40 minutes. The informationals will be about 20.
Yeah.
Maybe 30 on the outside if we have a lot to cover.
Mm-hmm.
And the lessons, my time goal will be 30 minutes. It may be 40 on some topics.
Yeah.
And you don't have to know anything.
This is
at all.
To begin here.
Start here.
Yeah.
So for a long time I've been asked, how do I start? What do I need? Like if I just want to get started, how do I start? What do I need? And I've been on so long and I have so many students that are at the 3 Hoot level that we've been really kind of doing a lot of 2 Hoots and 3 Hoot classes. We always do 1 Hoots. But I think let's make little flowers where we kind of build them in little bowls. If you see how I'm doing that, you just do a brush stroke down and you kind of are building the little bowls. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Are they excited? Tell me what they're saying. I'd love to know what they're saying as I make this big flower right here.
That flower?
Mm-hmm.
Rosie says that is absolutely fantastic.
So from now on, if somebody comes into our chat, and this is going to be kind of a gift, not just to our moderators, guys, but you guys. See how I went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then came across. That's how we're going to make the bowls.
Will we be texting folks when these drop?
I don't know if we'll have enough text for all of them. We will have enough text for the beginning.
Yes.
I used up some text to drop the picture today because I don't know. I don't know how YouTube generally will respond to this. I just know this needs to be out there. I know this needs to exist, and I know that at this point I have a good chance of being able to really do it.
Yeah.
I know that more people could do Acrylic April with me, and more people could do my week. You know how things like the 12 Days of Christmas or 13 Days of Halloween. If more people were okay in that 2 Hoot space, so let's get them on. Let's get them here. Let's get them painting. Let's help them start for free.
For free. Now, you're just using the tip there?
I'm just using the tip. And I used a lighter color to kind of create some depth.
Oh, yeah. Now, will these be live classes?
That we are working that out right now, which is why you guys are getting early notice. I think they're going to be premieres so that you guys can know exactly the materials. You guys can have all the information ahead of time, and you can ask me questions in the live chat. Tell me what you guys think of that.
And we'll drop them on the same time every day that we decide to drop them on, which we have not yet decided.
No, well, we have, kind of.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. It's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday at 1.
Oh, well, there you go. That's what you... But one... Where one? Is it one in Queensland, Australia? One in
Eastern
England?
Daylight Time.
In America.
So we're just making
Eastern Time in America.
In America?
Because New York is the center of the world.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really? I feel like that can't be true.
Paris might be, hey.
I feel like...
You know.
I feel like that's
New York is the financial center of the world.
Man, well, maybe.
Paris is probably the cultural center of the world. One could argue San Francisco has got some...
Hong Kong, Japan.
Oh yeah, no, I mean there's lots. Everybody's got their own
You said the world.
Well, look, that's my opinion. I get to have an opinion.
No, you don't.
Why not?
And to continue to add little. I just heard
dogs.
Yes, upstairs the little puppy doing the I'm lonely howl.
No, I think Hong Kong's got it going on, except China mainland is kind of messing with them a bit much, I think. I would like to see them go back to the two systems like as they originally promised. But, you know, who am
No
I?
politic, John.
Oh, it's just, got a
None.
feeling about having been there.
None. Yeah, I know you've been there, but none.
All right.
Now I'm going to add some little, sometimes I put in a little bit of, let's get some darker pink even. And sometimes you want to kind of tuck in as if something is peeking through leaves. See how we're doing? We kind of did this once with our dandelions. So did they give us a sense, was there any feedback on what we said so far about times and
Oh, yeah, this
premiere?
is good.
And
very good.
did they like the idea of the premiere?
Yeah. Well, there's not been a lot of premieres are good, Christina says.
Okay. I think that gives everybody, so it may not give me the best surfacing on YouTube, but it does give the students the best opportunity to succeed. And so sometimes I have to kind of go, discovery, you guys winning. If it's between everything, you guys always, you win.
Mm-hmm.
That is the rule. All right, so we've got lots of pinks.
Lots of pinks.
And let's add some oranges.
Okay.
We're going to take some yellow and some red together. Same, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
A depth of orange. That's like a UT color.
It is a UT color.
University of Texas. They got that orange going on.
They do.
We hailed from that southern state of Texas not too long ago, where there were many orange-clad humans that chanted about a sport that we did not fully understand. Felt it was a very strange human activity.
All right.
There seemed to be a lot of celebrating in the dough, which was good. I like celebrating.
And I think I'm going to use the Sennelier abstract paint from their primary set. So I'm using student paints, economy pro paints, but economy is what I'm thinking. I just want to make sure I'm mixing some yellow into my red. I want to make sure that
No, it's interesting. They like the premiere because they can ask you questions.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're really into it.
Yeah?
Yeah, because they get to ask you questions in chat.
It's a good way to do it. And I think for beginners, that might be very important to be able to ask questions. You guys see the little pops of flowers there?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important for beginners to, because, there's so much anxiety, isn't there?
Now, Rosie's like, did you say that there's only going to be black, white, and 3 colors?
Primaries, yeah. Primaries, black and white.
Ooh.
Well, a lot of people took a budget hit. I hear a lot of people want to paint and they're on a fixed income and they've never painted before and they're trying to do this, and this is a way, if I can work this out. It is the hardest class to put together by far on the teacher's end.
And,
but it may be the easiest for the students. It's so hard to put together a primary class. Y'all have no idea. Like, I've been just nervous of it.
Corey's like, are you sure that orange isn't from a group of Dutch hooligans who are trying to invade as well? I was like, well, you could be. There's a bunch of orange hooligans that are attached to different sports where foots touch balls. Not just the soccer kind or the football kind, but both kinds, apparently, have hooligans. I wonder if there's a foosball table team that's got orange. That's a football game I can get behind. The foosball.
That is a football game you can get behind. I'm going to take a little yellow and kind of come in the center of some of these.
Now, is this just a regular primary or a split primary?
Regular primary.
What's the difference?
Okay, so the truth is, it's very hard to get a red that makes an orange with yellow and a purple with blue.
Meaning it's a down the middle one.
Right, where it's down the middle and you don't end up with another color. It's very hard to do that, so you usually have to add convenience colors to the mix.
And that's because pigments are not colors.
Pigments are not colors. So you do a split primary
colored.
where you have a magenta, where you get purple, and then you have a warm red where you get bright oranges, like what we're doing here. But I think right now what it is, I'm going to just work. Look, here, guys, it's like the cats. I'm just going to work it out because what I need... If I can get you through 10 paintings, I can get you to 100. If I can get you through 10, I can get you to 100. But I've got to get y'all from 0 to 10. Complete. Finished works. Because that's where the skills are. I'm going to add a little purple in the center of the oranges.
Irene's like, I like my sports with an octane rating. Well, that means if you're watching NASCAR, I think that would be the Home Depot orange car.
I'm going to come in and put a little of the purple in that, and then I'll come back and put a little yellow in the other. So, yeah, and if, I wanted this to be something, if you were homeschooling, you could use it. I wanted it to be something, if you were starting painting later in life, you could use it. And that, every new person that comes in, if they're like, where do I start? We can be like, right here, you're done. This is like, I did the big art quest. How do you guys like this? I like this a lot.
I love it.
It's looking good. I think I might need to add some more flowers to fill in.
It's almost taco time.
It's almost taco time. I'm going to just add some. I just want some kind of filler in.
Deborah's like, what are the 3 days again?
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. 1.
The T and S days.
The T and S days.
Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays,
Oh,
Sundays.
you're clever. I didn't even realize I did that. It's just our regular schedule, and it's what we're going to be doing. If you've been painting for a while, do I think it'd be good for you to show up? Yeah, actually. Sometimes it's good to go back to basics and technique tune-up.
Mm-hmm.
You've been trying to get one of your friends to come paint with you. This is the one to grab. And I'm just gonna, that's where I'm gonna be in November, Movember, because we're gonna learn Mo and Morvember.
Now,
Never say no in November.
I'm curious if Corey, do you know of a place near Amsterdam called the Hoots? It's basically the houses. It's like a friend of mine lives in the suburbs up there. And when I came into the Netherlands, that's where I stayed. And then we went over to the Nuremberg because we were all BMW junkies. So I was just curious, like.
I'm just making sure that I've got nice, colors in the front.
Where those orange shenanigans were hailing from.
Mm-hmm.
What I also learned is that
Add some little bits of yellow to some of these.
it was surprisingly pretty easy to follow the language.
Red, or I could be yellow.
Like I don't speak Dutch, but I kind of understood what everyone was saying because I took Latin forever.
All right, so we've got tomorrow's B.
Is that it?
If you like the 2 and 3 hoop paintings, yeah, that's it.
Oh, look at that!
If you like the 2 and 3 hoop paintings, right? I'll sign this, and then we'll chat.
Okay. I was just like, poof! It happened.
It did, didn't it? Poof! It happened. Poof! It happened. Oh, I gotta clean this brush out so much. Set it down.
Oh yeah, Corey knows it. She knows that place. Who said? It was like a pretty cool place. It was like very.
Are we done going over the new course?
I don't know. I'm just chatting with folks.
Okay.
This is gorgeous, is what Rita says.
Thank you, Rita. All right. So if you've been on the fence.
Oh, Siobhan was like, please don't forget to explain about how you built the easel. That will be in the classes. That's what
I didn't put it in there.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I put in types of easels, but I didn't put a building an easel.
Oh no, we won't but we'll probably have some information on this particular easel to come up around that same time because a lot of folks have been asking about it, and I've been kind of assembling a little plan. It'll probably go on Facebook though, just for folks.
I'll let you guys know on that. We are going to get that to you, but so what it is I don't want to
overwhelm the channel.
Yeah, and John can write a blog on it.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I have done as a teacher in the past, been on here a lot. I know a lot, right? So I wanted to tell you guys everything at once. Acrylic April being one of those things, but just tell you everything, which is great, but it can be overwhelming. So having been on for a while and having answered a lot of questions, one, there are things you just wouldn't know, people don't know, and you don't want them to feel bad about not knowing. So I'm going to go back and I broke it down into what you first have to know, and then what will get you to a level 2 and what will get you to a level 3. Right?
Do you know what paints people can get for this? Do you know which ones you're going to use? What brand? What stuff?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of do?
Mm-hmm.
So can they, if you could give them a list, they would like to start
The only thing I haven't decided on is size of canvas.
Surfaces, that's right.
Surfaces. I haven't decided on the size of the surface, which is why I was asking you guys.
Yeah, we talked about the canvas, the canvas paper, canvases, and then canvas boards, and there's different value for each.
Yeah, they each have a different thing, and so it will cover everything you need to know about them in Canvas, like what you need to know as a beginner. The basics. This isn't everything I have ever told you, and this isn't as big as the Big Art Quest, because I think the Big Art Quest got too big and it meandered a bunch of different places. Big Art Quest, we'll be back with our dogs in December, so don't worry, we'll get back into our dogs and do all that. But this is kind of like what the Big Art Quest maybe should have been all along. Mm-hmm. This, like, you do something for a minute, you learn from your mistakes, you learn from what you're doing. So I'm going to be using I think it's going to be the easiest to get you guys the Sen LEA abstract kit. It's on Michaels, it's out a bunch of places, it's a good price. And because it's primaries, it gives you guys a chance to be able to work that out for yourself.
And a lot of companies sell primary kits. I know that Michaels has a pretty decent house brand kit. Golden makes a starter kit that's really nice.
Yeah. So it's going to be the red, the yellow, the blue, white, and black. And that's what we're going to start with. And you're going to learn just the basics of color mixing. Level 2, we might get into the color wheel. But right now you're going to learn the basics of what you need to know to start. Just to begin and succeed. So the goal of this course is going to be to explain what you have to know. If you don't know anything, what you have to know, that nobody ever thinks to tell you, right? What you have to know, like remove dried paint. How would you do that? What you have to know. And what are your first 10 paintings that will let you start to paint?
So Rosie really is like, will there be a starter intro video to kind of get us prepped for this before November? So they're going to have a little bit of heads up. It's going to be like my channel
ad. And we'll do on the premieres, we'll have a promo, that 3-minute that goes before. There's going to be events. I'm going to block everything organized into a page. Everything's going to have mini books. Mm-hmm. And if John does his work, at some point we're going to start releasing complete bound books.
If I do my work,
it's going to be. This is what it's going to be: no books, no books, no books. Acrylic April 2, Acrylic April 3, all January, March, all these other books, and then the beginner acrylic course. It's going to be so many books. You're going to be like, I don't even know what to buy. I'm so tired of these people.
Books.
You're going to be like, I'm so tired of these people, and they never. So that's the thing I need to know is, like, do you want to see me teach this at the easel? Do you want to see me teach this at the table?
Where'd that butterfly come from over you? That butterfly behind you next to the...
Lesson January this year has mini book.
Oh, yeah.
Has mini book. Has mini book, has mini book, has a mini book. Has mini book, has mini book, has mini book. Maybe you don't have a mini book. The Lion doesn't have a mini book. I think he was December.
Yeah. There's a bunch of them over there, though.
Patron.
So many.
Patron. Doggy is Big Art Quest. Acrylic April. January. I don't know, just some flower that we did. Some landscape that we did. I just do a lot of paintings. Just do a lot. But what I want you guys to be able to do is paint with me, and I want you to be able to have your family paint with me. I think about Trish. You know, I don't know if she's here right now because sometimes she takes October off from us, and
I'll look over and see if I see
from the retreat. But I'll message her directly because I know she does homeschooling and she's got kids. And that's the other thing is I'm gonna just make it just as open to you guys as I possibly can. So that is the big news. That is what is happening in November. Hopefully everyone doesn't unsubscribe.
No way.
I mean,
So don't forget to subscribe.
so
Click the
subscribe
bell.
if you would like a free, honest to God, free beginner acrylic painting course. We don't have to buy anything and everything is available for download, including the traceables.
Do the human things.
Do the human things. If you'd like to support this course over the next month just because you like to, you don't need anything extra, you can join the patronage.
Comment,
Or the YouTube
subscribe.
patrons, or go to the website or something, because that's how we get to do these programs.
Yeah.
All right, are you guys kind of excited?
I'm excited.
You want to show them the thumbnail again?
Sure.
We'll go out on it. Yay! Coming soon. Thank you for doing this, you guys. I can't wait to see yours in group. Please come tomorrow because that's our last big long class together live until December.
Yeah.
December. It's going to be amazing.
It is.
All right. 17 classes to change your life. Okay. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. And I want to see you and Anisel really soon. Bye-bye.